as soon as, and remember what I'm a year from now, you're going to contact me, be like, this was life changing, Zherka. As soon as you're holding on to anything earthly with the energy of time can freeze here, my life's perfect, everything starts going wrong for you. As soon as you interrupt psychic evolution, that as soon every day you have to evolve, for better or for worse, it doesn't fucking matter, but that wheel has to turn for some reason.
Hey, can you guys do me a favor? Can you donate me $100 right now? No, you guys don't get it, dude. If you don't donate $100, I'm ending the stream. Because I got places to be, I got nowhere to be. Literally, the stream is free. I've got nowhere to go. My whole summer is boring as fuck. Everyone's at Vegas Power Slap, and I don't really want to get on a plane because I'm a Muslim man. Who go there? What's up, guys? Welcome to the Jewish Podcast, another day, and today we're talking about synchronicity. And we're gonna get some people in here, but first, we want to talk about what is synchronicity. What the fuck is this Jungian shit? And when you listen to me, you're listening to the simplified version because we don't have time. We don't have time to read paragraphs and essays, bro. That's what I do for you guys. And then I take your fucking money. But synchronicity, in a nutshell, will be something as close to maybe I'd say 0%, because it can't be 0%, almost 0% probability. Like, let's say you're thinking of Bob. And that moment, after many, many years, you haven't talked to Bob in 10 years. That moment that you think about him, Bob calls you, and you don't answer the call right away because you're too busy gazing at the green and red buttons. You're too busy looking at his name and going, after 10 years, I thought about this dude, and he decided to call this exact second. What are the chances of that? And you look at the probability and you look at the chances, and it's damn near 0.009% according to ChatGPT. It's fucking non existent. And that's not a mystic's take. Oh, Jung was a mystic. That's a scientific take. That they did a bunch of studies, scientific studies, to calculate and crack down on these probabilities. And they were so fucking low that it freaks you out how meaningful that phone call actually becomes once you look into this stuff. And what's crazy is it also comes with a wave of emotion and energy, a different type of thing completely. You didn't feel that for the rest of your day. You didn't have anything like that. Nothing was that meaningful. And if you look at the probabilities of him calling you throughout the day, it's very low. But after 10 fucking years, do you know how fucking low that shit is? And so long as you're not looking for these moments, because these moments will look for you for sure, um, you can definitely use them as your compass around this fucking universe. You can definitely find, well, I like to call it, these are gas stations, man, right? They just fill us up with so much energy that we get to keep going. And that gaze, that 10-second gaze, you look at your phone like, wow, he's actually calling after 10 years. I haven't thought of this guy. That gaze is that gaze, the gaze of eternity, that you're feeling a moment of eternity. And unlike what you've been told, eternity has never felt long. It's never felt played out or even scary, it's always felt familiar. It's always felt warm. And we're taught so much bullshit with this concept of time. Everything is fear mongering to put you in a fearful state so you can't manifest around their manifestations, what the ruling class wants. And you got to really ask yourself, like, does the royal family, the ones who are in charge, does the top Zayo, Talmudic, these guys and whatever, were they trained to use their brains in a different way? Or are they just like us and they play Fortnite every day? Yeah, I'm sure they're just like you, bro. I'm sure they play Fortnite. Or do they spend 12 hours a day in right thought? And man, some of these are the most simple antidotes to your life, like stay around the right people. I wonder why everyone tells you to stay around the right people. Because staying around the wrong people always spirals to, you might think it's a couple hours of your time. And actually, no, it's like 5 to 7 years. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's big. These are energy vampires, my dude. And we can't blame our homies because we're choosing to chill with them. We don't have to green button that call. We could just red button it. But the more time you spend thinking about how the elites use their brains, use their center of consciousness, the more stupid you feel and the more pathetic you feel that, wow, I went my whole life letting Fortnite give me an emotional charge and up and down. Then my friends with their weed in the back seat with an emotional charge there, and everything's just taking from your magnet. And then what's left? Can you really go home and focus on your dreams? Not really, because Bob told you some weird negative shit. Actually, Bob's a pedophile. Okay? If your friends are not successful, they're all pedophiles. If they're too successful, then they're, well, I got news for you. They're also elite pedophiles, right? But what I'm trying to say to you is, if you believed 1% of what I said about your magnet, your emotions, bringing you a better world before you go to bed, if you believe 1% of what I talk about, why do you still answer their calls? And I get messages saying, Zherka, it's kind of lonely the way you live. You're like social 2 months of the year. I make more money than you, bitch. Maybe I'm doing it correct. Well, Zherka, I could just follow a social guy who did this and that. And hold on, hold on. If I gave you the loadout of some trend out cokehead bouncer, bar fighting, getting fired, and then fighting somewhere else and doing stupid shit my whole life with probably the worst fucking loadout. When I think of, people love to talk about genetics and yo, Zerka, you kind of got it good. And not really. I got the most mangled, tied up brain. It took me a long time to untie this motherfucker. And I'll say this, man, I don't really think, people are like, man, you gave such great life changing advice on these MS Paint streams when you were 28 and blah, blah, blah. And they popped off now. And I'm like, yeah, the reason I don't like talking about that stuff for any old content that, I get that it's like immensely popular, especially with my OGs, but I don't like talking about that stuff because I've never felt like a true mastery where I can actually charge someone from my knowledge. I've never felt a true mastery until I hit 30 years old, man. And I know it sounds crazy, but this year, as hectic as it been, for mindset, I feel so fucking genius, dude. I feel so, and I'm having one of these days where, We're having a sales peak where I get to flex on you guys and look at this, guys, I've done it again. And Sneako's like, come to Bosnia. And I just show him my numbers. I show him the stuff and the behind the scenes. And he's like, well, you could do that from here. And I'm like, my dude, there is no influencer banned off every platform getting paid like me. No sponsors, no donations, no streaming service, nothing, my nigga. Just my website. And I'm just fucking breathing, dude. But let me tell you this. I used to be a very angry man. And I would have my Twitch and my streaming services. And I would do 12 hours a day. And for some reason, money was not coming in. And I'll tell you this. I have a theory that all those months and all those years that a man works and doesn't get paid, he does get it back in spades. Or maybe you get it right. I'm getting it right now, and all those hours do eventually get paid through qualitative time and different events of your life. But I'll tell you this, man. Cut out the external triggers, dude. Like if you have an app that puts you in a bad mood, cut it the fuck out. I've got some of my guys who I have one guy who's making $7,000 extra a month, and he wasn't even scared. He gave me my props and stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, what you teach works. I want more. I want this." And I'm like, "How come you're not scared?" Like I got guys who actually get a little worried in the face that they discovered some hidden energy, and oh my god, how come you're not afraid? And how come my top guys, the top earners that make the most money, how come none of them are afraid when my protocol works for them? Because it's kind of offensive. It's like they're telling me, what are they telling me? They're just like, yo, just give me more, Zherka. Shouldn't you be bowing at my feet and saying, holy fuck, you're tripling my fucking net worth? Doing nothing. I did nothing different. I just changed this thinking process and this 3 times a week. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why my top guys never have that shocked face, that stupid fucking face I made and a bunch of people made years and years ago when we discovered this stuff, or a bunch of you guys discovered this shit before me. Let's be real about that. Um, why the top guys, the top earners, are never surprised when this stuff works for them? Any law of attraction stuff, when they're not surprised when it works for them, I'll tell you why. Is because I think they're the more intelligent guys, right? It is not like a sales thing. I'm just telling you guys, I think they're just more intelligent. And I think intelligent people, when something works for them, they don't spend time having an emotional up and down. They just want to go to the next level. And they really deep down thought that they already knew this. They already knew that this would work. They just needed a bit of guidance and stuff like that. But the guys I have who are shocked and holy fuck, Zherka, this month I'm making more, and everything you taught me is fucking great, and they scare the fuck out of me because I'm like, dude, if you're making it a fiesta, you're being a Zherka, bro. You're being my flaws. You don't want my flaws. I have huge flaws. You don't. If you listen to my content, if I've changed your life for the better, chances are you have my flaws. That you can be stuck in that sense of wonder and wow, and oh, it's working. The law of attraction, bro. Now, here's the problem: is that sense of explosion. Oh my God, it's working. Why that stuff is so bad for you is one, it's an emotional swing, right? It's burning too much energy of your day. You're just not realizing it. But two, the most important part is what you're doing is you're clawing on and holding on for dear life for the reality you just woke up to. So this guy's like at 7,000. He did it great. He's not that emotionally charged, none of that. But I have other guys. Let's say he made 1,500, 2,000 more, whatever. And I'll just say lower intelligence cats, right? And these guys scare me because when your eyes dilate and you get stoked that you woke up in a better life, you're finally past that sticking point, that artist block, that whatever, that creative block, that money block, whatever it was. The problem with your eyes dilating and you getting stoked for your new world is you're actually clinging on to that world. So a good example of this, I love to use women because it etches into all of our hearts as young men. Have you ever had a girlfriend and everything's going great with her? She loves you. You're a magnet to her, her friends, her family. Everything about you is magnet. And your life's easy and you're just a winning Chad. Wow, that's awesome. Then you wake up and realize how awesome it is, that it's never been more awesome. And you compare it and I'm at a new peak. This is that qualitative time horizon that Zerka talks about where it all fucking hits and it's all starting to make sense for at least 1 week of my fucking bum life. Now everything's going great. Wow. What comes first is fear. The fear that you don't hold on to this, or something even worse, joy takes over. Now, the fear of not holding on to this, I never go in depth about that because that's only a snake oil fucking faggot salesman will tell you how to eradicate that fear. I don't think that fear goes away, bro. Like your life gets better and you start to guard it. You start to, holy shit, I got to keep it going like this. That fear is, I've tried everything with my guys, with me, and that's here to stay. With top players, yeah, you can manage it, deal with it, but don't pretend that you can eviscerate that. And I think that means it's healthy if you can't get rid of that. I don't think anything with too much push, right? Trying to eradicate something is going to bounce back and hurt you more. So I really don't like a lot of the law of assumption guys, the Reddits, they go back and forth debating, the law of assumption works so well, but what about this? That you guys are literally autistic retards just hyperfixating on the wrong, something that none of them are talking about, or, well, they are, but not, it should be for the law of assumptions and the law of attraction guys, the Dana White energies, right? You guys have to focus on the nightmare situation. And the nightmare situation, let's say your life's going great, money, girlfriend, all that. You love the bitch and all that. It's been a couple of months and you feel like, oh, this is love, but it's a love of state, your new lifestyle. The big fear that no one really gets into is you love it so much that you're complacent. It doesn't mean your energy is complacent. You might still work hard and all that. But in the quantum field, in the matrix, whatever you want to call it, in this web, you signal that you've hit perfection. And there's something about the world that when your girlfriend is great and your life's going great, there's something that happens to every man where you psychically just agree with God and everything in the matrix. You agree that life can stop here. It's perfect. And as soon as you do that, you might consciously do it, you might unconsciously, like the rest of us, but you always know. As soon as you do that, that bitch is going to leave you and everything's going to start going wrong. For a lot of guys, it's not really career, it's always the woman thing. I've noticed in the data I've collected personally, my anecdotes, it's more about women than career. Like my guys are good at the money part, but the women part is like some of you chads are fucking up bad. And you're doing everything right, but there's this thing that happens in the matrix, man. As soon as, and remember I'm a year from now, you're gonna contact me, be like, this was life changing, Zerka. As soon as you're holding on to anything earthly with the energy of time can freeze here, my life's perfect, everything starts going wrong for you. As soon as you interrupt psychic evolution, that as soon every day you have to evolve, for better or for worse, it doesn't fucking matter, but that wheel has to turn for some reason, right? As soon as your life is perfect, you psychically hold on to it and the whole matrix rips it from your hands. And the saddest part of this is that most young men only held on to it because they didn't want to be greedy. They only held on to it because they said, hey, man, I'm done with the blessings. My life's great. The law of assumption, the law of attraction, I've mastered it. We can stop here.
I don't need any more blessings. Just leave me with this salary and this girlfriend. Life can't get better. I might get the bitch pregnant. And a lot of us in our hearts, we're not even bad guys. We do that as a way of saying, here, I want to stop here. I want to get off the dragon of time here. And it's the biggest fucking evil you can do to yourself. And there's a million people DMing me right now saying, holy fuck, that happened to me. It's not that mystical, bro. It's happened to everyone. Have you ever heard of those fucking quotes? You don't know what you've got till it's gone. What you've got, as in you've got something, you captured it. Bro, let go. If life's going good, let it go. Don't hold on to it. That's the only way you can keep gliding. And even that throws you side quests, but I'm telling you, the nightmare situation that I'm convinced there's 26-year-olds who figured this shit out. I'm convinced you don't have to be 30 to know this shit. And I'm like, that's so Zerka though, when life's going good. My first 2 years after my first prayer, I wouldn't pray asking for shit because I thought it was greedy. But that's even more greedy is you're holding on to your world. For some reason, that's the worst thing you can do to yourself. And nobody can explain why everything goes wrong when you agree that everything can't get better. Because you agreed everything cannot get better. Therefore, it can only get worse. It cannot get better. And it has to get better, dude. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, January, February, March, up until now, 2024, I've been doing great. I have not been holding on for dear life. I don't get too excited. I don't have emotional charges. Nico, I'll see you when I see you, bro. I don't have that thing anymore where it's like, yo, we gotta do this now. Sneeko wants to do this now and da da da. Bro, that's how horrific shit happens to you. That's how horrific shit happens to you. I'm convinced you didn't even do, some of you guys didn't even do anything wrong. She just left you because you fucked with the quantum field. You told that the matrix, you told that energy, this blessings from God, these eternal blessings that keep pouring our way. The worst thing you can do is stop the blessings and put your hand up and say, I'm really good right now. And you're like, but dude, I don't want to be like these greedy guys who just endless blessings and keep going. But you have to be. You have to be like, they're not greedy, dude. It's you can have everything you want, bro. I'm not saying you're getting it, but that's the mindset. You have to keep it open. Are you saying God's blessings are limited? Fuck out of here with that weak shit, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, you get a new toy as a child. You love the toy, right? It's like a Sonic the Hedgehog toy. Then something strange happens when you attach to the toy. And you build this attachment that, for some reason, there's a ripple effect where you can feel something bad's coming to you and this toy. You might, as a kid, compare this toy to something else, right? You might want a Shadow the Hedgehog toy, but it loses its impact on you, and that's the same with the girlfriends and the jobs and the clout and the money. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what would be the perfect advice to give to someone, a young man who his life is going perfect? Now, the only thing that could go wrong is him noticing it went perfect, because that's when it goes south, right? It might take a few weeks, right? Maybe even a month or two. If you're lucky, 6, but no more than that. Everything goes wrong after that. And it's because you're putting it out there that things cannot get better. When if you look at you're on Earth for 100 years, let's say it has to get better, right? It has to get better, and even moving the time along is getting better. Nothing. It doesn't have to be eventful, right? I always found that the most
the biggest bitch slap I'd ever get from God. Like when I was a young man, and I'd be, you know how we as young men, we'd have like grievances with God. We wouldn't say it, but everyone has their angers with the lack of blessings they're getting or whatever, or comparing to other people and friends and whatever. I remember my biggest grievance always being like, how come I can't have a few weeks of that Zherka? That Zherka's so happy. As soon as I cling on to that, I love that Zherka. That Zherka with that girl, with that job. As soon as I cling on to that, it gets pulled from me in a romantic way where it's all, when I say romantic, I mean like the angels up in heaven are watching and going like, what the fuck? This guy's dreams are being pulled from his hands, and it's so unfair. But when I've done the research, and I've done so much of this kind of research on qualitative time, on synchronicity, on all this stuff, probabilities, all that, and I come down to the conclusion of, holy shit, dude, it's not just me. They just can't put it into words. No YouTuber can put it into words. But I get like so many DMs every time I open this topic, and I'm like, this is what all these mystics talked about is let do not be of this world, even in the Bible, right? It's like you hold on to stuff that's earthly, and for some reason it gets pulled from you, and everyone is convinced that the mystics are saying just be a monk. Just you don't need you just be wrapped in sheets like fucking nuns. They're wrapped in sheets. And no, they're saying you can have your blessings. Don't get attached to them. Right? Now there's some of us who are like initiated and have to go further, and maybe they can be wrapped in sheets, but for most people on earth who live just a regular life, 9 to 5, all they have to do is not get attached to that 9 to 5, and then bigger opportunities will come to crash them out of that life into something better. And you see this with MMA fighters too, where they win a belt and they hold on to that state of who they are as a champion. And for some reason, it's bad. They have to be an evolved champion. They can't hold on to that year's championship, or else horrific shit happens to them in their career. And the more you looked into athletes and stuff like this, I'll say like Tom Brady. He's a bad example because his wife's a satanic witch bitch. But I would say he seems like the type who his energy doesn't really cling on to the material world. He can just take blessings on and just, oh yeah, just a straight white guy. I'm a straight white guy. I'm straight white. He's not straight, but he's got this energy of there's more coming. Oh yeah, whatever. But when I look at the average human, every time we have it good in our lives, we have this psychic red stop sign in our head that says, okay, enough good things. Enough good things. This is great because we have this instinct to think that good things are going to knock us out of whatever the fuck heaven we just entered. That life can't get better. Don't even shuffle the cards, bro. I want to stay here. Every time you fuck with time, the dragon of time, and you do that, you get fucking punished badly. And that's why I say at this, I've never felt more intelligent in my life because, these are the most blessings I've ever had. And we're talking about me being debilitated, banned off every streaming and da 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 da. And I'm still number one of this fucking shit, bitch. Who else could say ban any of these streamers off their fucking platform? See how much they wouldn't get a nickel from grandmother. And I'm like, there has to be a lesson here. This this Zerka's the best he's ever done in his life. And he's debilitated. Imagine when I'm back on my streaming services and blah blah blah. And well, it's not like I even use them when I'm on band, but you hear what I'm saying? That my biggest issue for years would be I can't get banned. They're gonna cut my paycheck. And now I'm on the opposite side of the scale, and the only thing that shifted was my attention. And when you see attention as a day-to-day thing, you start to realize, wait a minute. Okay, let's say this week you made 100,000. Okay? Now, you could go party with your friends and some bitches and really hold on to that. And you really want to celebrate because what is celebration anyway? What is this drinking and smoking and all this? What are you really doing? It's a ritual of trying to get time to stop. You're trying to slow it down. We all know what you're trying to do. But if you just keep taking steps forward, almost like these Bill Gates types, right? That these satanic Bill Gates, that, he's not a role model, but you can just see in his fucking eyes that when he fucks with the Matrix on his 28, on his pig ass shit, when he walks forward and makes billions, he goes, yeah, I think I'll just make some more. Whereas a lot of us would pause at billions and say, holy fuck, pinch me, I'm dreaming. I got to hold on to this reality. And as soon as you try and hold on to it, it's like you're inviting the agents from the Matrix to come rip it out of your hand. And man, I wish I knew this at 21, 22. That I wish I knew that let's call it like a stoic monk energy of things going right. Yeah, things are going right. More things are going to go right. But when things go right for the average Zoomer, their first thought is, oh my God, dude, John, it can't get better. It can't, and it's so sad when I talk to you guys on calls and you have that chuckle. You're 23 years old, 24, and you have this chuckle of like, dude, Zherka, last time I talked to you on call, and now I'm making $7,000 more. And you have this chuckle, and you look at my face like, whoa, Zherka's not happy. Like, why is he not? Why doesn't he be like the guy who? I'm gonna post this call with one of them. It's like a great call, but I didn't. I could have been more critical on this. That I really, really want to hammer this home, guys. It's terrifying to get that chuckle. You should be traumatized when you're that happy. It's a very bad thing because we as humans, for some reason, we don't just stay happy. We start to play weird games with our unconscious operating self. We start to do things ritualistically to signal to the quantum field that we don't want to play the game anymore. We're happy here. We're making great money here. We got tits and ass here. And then it comes back and fucks us up. And I see right now I got a bunch of DMs saying, holy fuck, you're spinning, you're this. Listen, man. What are the techniques of getting used to winning? Because I don't think anyone's ever shown us these techniques. You can see a lot of spoiled kids and a lot of these kind of bratty types, a lot of these narcissist personalities, they win a lot more in life, man. I still remember when I wouldn't put a donation button in my first weeks of streaming. As I said, I'm going to have it anyway. I'm going to have all the money. I don't give a fuck. But imagine if I did put a little faggot donation button day one and I scrambled and scrambled for like money and donos. And then what state would I be? I'd be in my welfare state. And people don't understand that a good state might last you a day, a bad state might last you a week. Yeah, and it's contagious. It's hurting your friends and family. It's lowering their degrees too, right? It's putting them in a worse state. So yeah, it's a virus. Negativity is a virus. And no one ever talks about, I've never seen a podcast talk about how the most negative thing you could be is positive. Because you might be so positive of the materials you have on earth right now that your blessings stop right there. And when blessings stop, you don't just freeze. Because, bro, a lot of us would have loved to freeze. Like, oh, 21, have my girlfriend, have a good job, whatever, having a blast. We'll stop here. A lot of guys are not like the conqueror mindset. Most guys would love, if I'm convinced 99% of the public would freeze if they could, right? That, oh, life can't get better. Let's just call it here. And that's the most dangerous thing you can do because you're really saying, I don't want to play ball. I don't want no more curveballs from the universe, bro. I don't want any more curveballs. And it's like, oh, you don't want to play the game now that you got your little wins? Oh, really? You think you're gonna just go to sleep in that pussy? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Let's take away all that, and then you can have curveballs. Let's take away your paradise first, and then we'll start throwing curveballs because you have to play. And that machine, this is baseball, and that machine
It doesn't stop. But John, what if I'm depressed? Bro, this matrix, this system doesn't give a fuck. That machine keeps going. The baseballs are cracking your skull and you're bleeding, and that machine is still going. You're winning in life, that machine's still going. The only time that curveball machine ever takes breaks and slows down is when you're winning nonchalant. You know, you kick a ball into a net, don't celebrate too much. Don't make it a ritual. You're making it a ritual that you never fucking do that. That it's a surprise party. Oh, surprise, I made a goal. You're making a ritual that it's rare that you make goals like that. No, you shrug your shoulders and you go, I can do this all day. I can do this all day because when you say I can, you actually just did, nigga. In that state, you can, bitch. And the state is gonna be fleeting. Doesn't matter, even when you master this, it fleets. It flies away. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And then it comes back like the N-word. It calls you the hard R. But you're that nigga. You don't do hard R. And I guess where I'm going with this is, for years I've been doing these kind of calls and giving my 2 cents on all this stuff. But I've never done this call. I've never talked about how, in depth at least, I've never talked about in depth how everything, your heaven will get taken from you, bro. Your heaven will get, as soon as your heaven becomes earthly and material, even human material, right? It'll get taken from you, right? Heaven gotta be within, but as soon as you're grabbing onto it without, in this external, and we do this unconsciously, bro, bad things come your way, right? And what's worse than your heaven taken from you? And how many times has it been taken from you? Let me tell you something, dude. There's no worse feeling. There's no worse feeling than when you're living a modest life. You're not winning too hard. You're not even on people's radar. You're just doing good for yourself and your girlfriend. And she's happy and you're happy, and it seems like people at the grocery store and everywhere you go, they're just not as happy as you guys, but you guys are contagious. People want to be around you guys, and you go, damn, that's what life's all about. And you feel great that you're humble and that you're happy with this existence where nobody knows who the fuck you are. You're not even making that good money. You're just making enough to be smiling 24/7, which you've never experienced before. And other people can notice and they want to be around you. And you're like, holy shit, I feel bad for these billionaires. Last 2 weeks, I've had a ball. I wouldn't trade that for anything, my nigga. I wouldn't trade that for, even now, knowing what I know now. If I linger in that feeling, if I try and really go there in my head, I'm telling you, bro, you don't need billions, you don't need millions, you just need that state, that energy you're in, that magnet. And you think being humble keeps that magnet. No, man, evolving keeps that magnet. For some reason, it doesn't debilitate, it doesn't weaken when you keep evolving at all. And people are like, well, is it like a faith component that you just have faith in God and that the blessings keep coming in and you don't really make anything ritualistic or anything, to tap into this kind of. Yeah, dude, I'll tell you this, man. I can't explain how or why, and I don't think anyone who says they can is a fucking faggot. But I'll tell you this, man. You have to evolve. That's all it is, bro. A fucking seed turns into a apple tree, right? That it had that potentiality there, and that if it doesn't grow, it dies. The calf becomes a cow, the Charmander becomes a Charizard. Or my nephew likes the new Mega Evolved Charizard, but I think he's black now, so I don't know about the race mixing. But I'm saying this, man. There's gonna come lots of failures for you young men. A lot of failures are gonna come knock you guys upside the head, and you guys are gonna look for advice. You guys are gonna look for leaders on the internet who got their shit together. And the colorful ones are going to stand out and stuff, and they're going to talk about getting up when you've lost, but that's not the danger, dude. It's staying up when you've won. That's the real tricky part. And all you have to do is not cling to it, right? Sounds simple. It's tough. Like, I do want to make a ritualistic celebration of "I told you so, faggot. I told you I'm on my next money, bitch. I told you fucking bitches. I kick my feet up and I triple my shit." I really want to say that right now, but more is coming my way. So I'm just going to chill, right? I want to take my good news and my bad news and all that and throw it in the pile of evolution. Because I got to jump in that pile. I got to evolve. And the interesting thing is, this state of you winning, this angel wing state, the interesting part of all this is that, have you noticed you can't really own the state? You tap into it, but if you're not doing the right things for yourself, and it's always about the self for some reason. I know, sounds crazy, but God wants you to look after yourself a lot more than you've been taught. A lot more. I mean, it really comes down to that stupid meme of adjust your mask before you do a passenger's. My dude, you have to take care of yourself so well that it's almost like other people don't exist for you to have the aura to magnetically bring them your way to help them. For example, your parents could be in debt and you wouldn't know because you are not a winner. But if you were a selfish fucking winner, if you were taking care of yourself, they would tell you and you would be able to help them because they want help from a winner, not a loser like you. But my parents are, yeah, they're all taught wrong. We're all taught fucked up shit by mainstream media. And I'm telling you this, guys, if there's ever a time to not give a fuck, yeah, it's important with losses, but it's really, really a lot more important with your wins. When you guys are getting through your big wins, Zherka, I'm making 7,000 more a month, and after I talk to you and blah blah blah, bro, you're making a little too much celebration out of this, and I don't like that. Right? That's not you. That's the loser you that's surprised you did that. Okay? And we look at the hours you've clocked in before you even started this fucking job. Dude, every hour counts. Even the hours you're depressed off work is work. You're going to get paid for all that. So don't make it a big hoopla. Okay? Don't make getting a girlfriend a big hoopla. A lot of you guys are scaring me with the data IQ stuff. Okay? It's not really something you should celebrate at all. Okay? She's going to pick up on your energy. Like, we pick up on these. 97% is nonverbal. That's communication. It's just energies. We pick up on energies. Stop revealing to the world that you're desperate. Like, you're celebrating way too much. That goofy faggot smile you have is way too large. You're smiling like you'll never get paid this much again. That's what you're smiling like, and it's fucking horrific if you're actually in the law of assumption communities and the law of attraction. If you're on your Dana White shit, the the top guys don't give a fuck, bro. Dana grins at making millions. He doesn't go sit in a room and fucking laugh his ass off like a dumbass because he knows that's ritualistic. He knows what's happening if he dwells into that too much, right? Anyways, we're gonna bring some people on. But that's my spiel for today. And just a reminder that I'm up. I'm not just up, I'm up, as always, bitch. And which is good because I felt kind of negative when, I mean, Chatter said it best when I was flexing in the internal server
think we said on God Pill with Sneeko too. I said this chatter said Zherka went and spent $70,000 in USA and just to be called a pedophile. And I'm like, damn, I spent a lot, but really I stay in the winning state. Yeah, I get the nice caviar, bitch. I don't give a fuck. What was it, like 8 weeks there? But yeah, that's just nothing, bro. That's just nothing. But I'll tell you this, guys, please don't make any ritualistic scheduling around your wins. Just win and evolve. That's all you gotta do is win, evolve, and move forward. Okay, let's get some new guys in this shit.